Okay, so today we're diving into something really cool, the SNS Roadmap. And its promise? It's huge but simple. To take that big, chaotic idea you have and turn it into something real, a successful creation. So let's see how it plans to get us there.
So let's be honest. Have you ever had a big idea that just feels stuck in chaos? You know the feeling, right? It's this brilliant concept, but it's just a jumble of thoughts and questions. It's totally overwhelming, and you have no idea which way is up.
Well, what if you had a map for that chaos? That's exactly what this is. The SNS Roadmap is meant to be your guide. It literally lays out the whole journey, from that messy, confusing beginning to a real, successful project.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with laying the foundation, then building your framework. After that, it's all about fueling growth and innovation. Then we'll hit achieving true excellence, and finally, the final destination. Let's get into it. All right, first up, stage one, laying the foundation. I mean, it's obvious, right? You can't build a skyscraper on sand. If you want to create something big and lasting, you've got to start with a rock-solid base. So what does that actually mean?
So, how do you build that foundation? Well, the roadmap gives us three key steps. First, you got to acknowledge the chaos, face the challenge head on. Then, you look around, analyze your competition and the business landscape. And finally, you tie it all together by applying design thinking. And this roadmap puts a huge emphasis on design thinking. And it's not just some corporate buzzword. Think of it as the engine for this whole first stage. It forces you to put the user, the actual person, at the center of your problem solving. That way, you're not just building something cool, you're building something people actually want and need. Okay, so once you have that solid user-focused foundation, it's time for stage two, building your framework and culture. You've looked outside, now it's time to look inside. You've got to build the internal structure that's going to hold this whole thing up. The map points to four cornerstones for your framework. These are like the main support beams of your building. You've got your 3P culture, that's your people, process, and product. Then the SC framework, structure, clarity, and safety. Next are your 5 pillars, vision, mission, goal, and so on. And of course, agility. You gotta be able to move and adapt. And this is a really key distinction here. The 3P culture, that's your what and your who. Your team, your methods, your product. But the SC framework, that's the how. It's about creating a safe, clear structure where your team can actually do their best work. And you absolutely need both. They're two sides of the same coin, for sure. All right, so you've got your foundation, you've got your framework. Now we get to the fun part, stage 3, fueling growth and innovation. This is where we stop building the car and start putting gas in the tank. It's time to hit the accelerator. So how do you do that? The map lays out a clear path. First, you identify those innovation triggers, the sparks of new ideas. Then, you empower your best people to chase those sparks, giving them powerful tools like Gen AI. And finally, you develop certified talents to keep that engine running. It's this awesome cycle of finding ideas, empowering people, and making it happen. And the map is super specific on this point. Technology, especially something like Gen AI, isn't just a tool, it's an accelerator. It's what lets a small, talented team take a great idea and scale it up in a way that honestly would have seemed like science fiction just a little while ago. Which brings us to the final major stage of this journey, stage 4, achieving excellence and creation. This is the top of the mountain. This is where everything you've built becomes a self-sustaining system, and you're not just competing anymore, you're aiming to lead the entire market. So what does excellence even look like? Well, the map breaks it down into 4 pillars. You've got smart OK goals, super clear, measurable targets. Then turning excellence into a plug-and-play system. It's also about setting those big, ambitious targets. And maybe most importantly, having a continuous growth mindset baked into everything you do. And when I say ambitious, I'm not kidding. The roadmap has a very specific, very massive number in mind, 1,000. The goal is to launch 1,000 AI startups. I mean, that's a huge, audacious number, right? It really anchors the whole journey in a real-world mission. And that's where that whole growth mindset thing becomes so critical. It's not about just hitting a goal and you're done. No way. It's about this constant cycle. You think, you design, and then you redesign. It's a continuous loop of improvement that just never stops. So after climbing through all 4 of those stages, we finally make it to our destination. And what's cool is the map doesn't just call it a finish line.
It calls it an achievable dream. There's this great quote on the original map that just nails it. It basically says, with design thinking providing the tactical approach and AI enabling scale, that 1,000 startup mission is not just a dream, it's achievable. You get the smarts from design thinking and the power from AI. Put them together, and suddenly that crazy goal doesn't seem so crazy anymore. And really, that's the whole point of a roadmap like this, isn't it? It takes a massive, overwhelming goal and it breaks it down into simple, manageable steps. It makes the impossible feel possible just by showing you the path forward one step at a time. So it all comes down to this. This map gives you a framework, a guide, from that messy start to a huge success. The only question left is, what chaos are you going to turn into a creation?